Regte. With me is Susan Gillette. She is an attorney and specializing in road accident fund claims. Now, we often hear about people claiming from the road accident fund, and we often hear people receiving a lot of money from the fund, but we are not really well informed when it comes to these type of claims. So that's why we have Susan here today, just to keep us all on track and well informed. Now, Susan, please tell us just a little bit, what is a road accident fund claim? Who can claim from the fund? How does it work?
Thank you for having me. So firstly, anyone injured in a motor vehicle accident that was not their fault can claim from the road accident.
Okay, so basically we are all on the roads every day and accidents do happen. So does this include children? Is it only for adults? Or how does that work? You know, if your whole family is in a motor vehicle accident, typically how will that play out when we consider a road accident fund claim?
Yes, so children can also claim, but the parents claim on behalf of the child. If the
Okay.
parent is deceased in the accident, we'll have to appoint a curator ad litem for the child.
Yeah, because that's things that do happen. It's unfortunately a reality these days. And tell me, what you mentioned that if the accident was not your fault, then you can claim. So a lot of the times we see that both parties in an accident, um, they both caused the accident. So what now? What will happen in those circumstances?
So in those circumstances, we usually, or the RAF usually apportions the claim. They usually plead contributory negligence, and the claim gets apportioned by either 30% or 50%, depending on the degree of negligence.
So they will basically say, okay, you were in the accident and you deserve, if I may use that word, a payout, but because you were to a certain extent also guilty and negligent in causing the action, then they decrease.
Yes, they deduct. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. And after I've been in the accident, for example, and I sustained some injuries, how do I know that the injuries that I sustained is actually sufficient for me to lodge a claim? Because I can imagine it's not like only being in an accident that will give you a successful claim. I assume that you have to really be injured and suffer really a big loss.
Yes, in order for you to qualify for general damages, you will have to have a 30% whole person impairment. We call it WPI. And usually it's best to consult with an attorney to determine whether you will qualify for general damages or not.
Yes, definitely. And the other person in the accident, do both parties claim from the road accident fund, or if I get injured, do I claim from the road accident fund and from the wrongdoer or the person who caused the accident?
You will claim from the road accident fund for bodily injuries that you've sustained. If you have damage to your vehicle, unfortunately, you will not be able to claim from the road accident fund. You will have to claim, it qualifies as a civil claim against the wrongdoer.
And how long does these claims take? For example, after the accident, what time do I have to institute the claim? And then how long does it take for me to get the money if I then qualify for a claim?
In a road accident fund claim, you have to claim a hit and run accident in 2 years, irrespective of the child's age. Let's say the child is injured in the accident, but it's a hit and run accident. We get that quite often where a child gets hit by a vehicle in front of the school and
so the child's a pedestrian then.
Yes.
So pedestrians can also claim. It's not necessarily like that you have to be in a vehicle to claim.
Yes. So in the case where a child is hit by a vehicle and it's a hit and run, it also prescribes in 2 years. That's something that the public don't really know about.
Yeah.
We need to lodge that claim in 2 years, and we need to issue summons 5 years from the date of the accident.
Okay.
If the other guilty driver is identified, so it's an identified claim, we have 3 years to lodge the claim.
Okay. Even in respect of children?
In respect of children, you get more time because of the injuries that children sustain. They're usually more resilient than adults. So children that gets involved in an accident where the guilty driver is identified, they usually have more time. So they have, from the date they turn 18, they have 3 years to lodge and an additional 2 years to issue summons.
So the basic here is within 3 years from date of accident, the average adult will have to already issue summons. And then if it's a hit and run, so the other person in the vehicle is unidentified, then it's only 2 years, irrespective of the age of the person in the accident. And we talk about sustaining a lot of injuries now, but how do I know whether the injury I suffered is severe enough? How do you determine the amount that's claimed from the road accident fund? Because as from the articles I've read, there's quite a lot of different amounts. Some people claim hundreds and thousands of rands and others not. So how do you determine the amount that you can claim?
Your claim, you need to quantify your claim, or your attorney needs to quantify your claim with expert reports. So if you qualify for general damages, it all depends upon case law, obviously, where we compare injuries sustained by other claimants, and the courts usually decide it's on the severity of the injuries, depending on what you're going to get.
And if I understood correctly, Susan, it's not only the injuries that you can claim money for. It's also things like loss of income, or if you're unable to work, that type of income. You can claim that as well.
You can claim for past loss of income, future loss of income, but you need to remember that the RAF applies a cap to your loss.
Oh, okay. And what is the cap? Do you know?
It's 315,000 rand per year, or 26,000 per month.
Yes.
So if you earn more than that, it's advisable to get an insurance to cover the deficit.
Makes sense. And what about situations where your husband or wife is in an accident and now incapable of going back to work? I know that spouse will then obviously claim, but what about a loss of support? Or if your spouse passed away in these type of accidents, is there a remedy available to the surviving spouses or children of the person who passed away?
Yes, there is a remedy available for the spouse, depending on the deceased spouse. If the deceased spouse was earning an income, then there is a loss.
Okay.
So we usually determine it that way. The children also have a claim for loss of support.
And then it's the same only if the parent had an income and actually supported the kids, I would assume.
For children, it's a bit more technical. Usually we use an actuary to calculate the loss.
Yeah. So this is obviously one of the matters where you will rely a lot on experts, an expert attorney specializing in road accident funds like yourself, as well as then experts like doctors, psychologists. And I also assume that a lot of the time in these type of accidents, your clients are not always mentally capable of dealing with the matters themselves. And you've mentioned that you then have a process to follow.
Yes, correct. We follow a process. We appoint a curator ad litem in the High Court. We have to have 2 expert reports available, obviously, to substantiate the injuries.
And that's also a manner in which you make sure that the payouts then secured for the injured person only.
Correct.
100%. Susan, with considering all of this, we are talking about a lot of money. If we think about all the people on the roads and the accidents that actually do occur, and people who really get hurt in accidents, where's the money coming from? Like the road accident funds paying out left, right, and center, but where's the money coming from?
Well, it's coming from the fuel levy, and I know a lot of South Africans are not happy about it.
No,
it's around R2.18 per litre of fuel that goes to the road accident.
Okay, so it's sustainable.
Yes,
it's not like the fund will be bankrupt soon. We hope.
Well, we hope.
Yeah. No. Well, thank you, Susan. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
If you have any interesting comments or topics that you would like us to discuss, please leave it in the comments below. And if you liked our video, like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.